Good morning, everybody. It's Catherine Cook here, and today I'm on talking about building your community and how it's key to a successful real estate experience. Joining me today on this LinkedIn Live, we have Shelley Pilkington, Director of Open Door Marketing, along with Callis Osorio, a real estate agent with Barfoot and Thompson. Welcome, ladies.
Morning,
Thank you.
Catherine.
Good morning.
I see we
And
got
we,
the memo about the close this morning.
I know,
There
I
was
know,
none.
and Callis has got her leopard skin on somewhere else, so we won't get to do that. But yeah, it was quite funny turning up today, and we're both wearing the same outfit. So clearly we need to break out of this zoo. I can tell you, I'm over being here in this lockdown. I need to break out. So hey, look, ladies, it's really great having you here. And, obviously the property market is bursting at the seams. High demand, low supply, and a multitude of real estate agents all after the same supply source. I know for a fact that there's been a lot of people I know have had to take career changes just simply through COVID and retrain and start off as a career as a real estate agent. So every real estate agent claims they're number one. They're the preferred realtor for a homeowner. But the reality is that this is a big decision. So whether buying or selling, you've got to make sure that you're aligned with the right person who's going to look after you. And for a real estate agent, it could almost feel like you're entering a lottery. You've got long hours, weekend work, deadlines, sleepless nights, and all those sorts of things. Callis, let's start with you. What got you into real estate?
Well, I am an engineer, but then about 10 years ago, we moved to New Zealand about 14 years ago. And 10 years ago, we started our property journey. So we bought a rental property. And then from then I started, really interested in property. And then I moved my career about 4 years ago. And actually before that, I moved into sales. And then 4 years ago, I decided to move into real estate. So yeah, and it's been great. I absolutely love it.
And what makes you love it? What makes you get out of bed and want to help these people?
Um, well, a lot of things. I really like people, and I like helping them. Obviously, real estate can be, selling and buying can be a very, very stressful process. So being able to help buyers and first home buyers who haven't done it before and helping them, holding their hands throughout the whole process, and also with vendors. Some people haven't sold their house for 40 years, so it's totally new for them. So holding their hand and helping them is I really, really enjoy it. And it's just very dynamic and it changes all the time. So I really like it.
And what I love about you, Callis, is so Callis and I met through networking. And what I love about when I hear you talk is you always talk about the journey with your clients. That it's not just about selling and then that's the end of it. You keep the relationship and the ongoing journey, in terms of them coming back to you. Let's face it though, with working with your clients, it can be really, really busy. That marketing falls by the wayside. Am I correct in saying that, Callis? Like, you try your best to do your marketing, but if you've got selling, what's going to come as a first priority? Going and seeing the client is the priority. So with marketing falling by the wayside, we step in with Shelley Pilkington. And Shelley, you've been the go-to marketing company for realtors for quite some time. And you've actually also been on your own journey recently. You've gone back to your original name of Open Door Marketing. So Callis is obviously needing your expertise. How do you work with somebody, or how do you find somebody, and how do you get them to see the benefit of working with you, Shelley?
Well, we have agents contact us at all times of night. And like you talked about, people, you can lie awake at night worrying about where your next listing is going to come from. And I've had agents contact me at 3 a.m. in the morning, at 1 a.m., or even on Christmas Day, saying, I need your help. I need help with listings. And so for somebody like Callis, I love working with people who love people, because that's what our business is all about. It's about I think I've come across a lot of agents in my 10 years doing this, that it's a little bit like you know, going out looking for listings is a little bit like chasing rabbits in a field. And, you know, this field is full of rabbits and you're after this listing here and you chase it and it's off down a hole, and all of a sudden, you know, you haven't got the listing anymore, and so you're off chasing another one. It just takes so much time and energy. So our philosophy is about helping our clients, our real estate professionals, to build a community of people who know, like, and trust you, and then call you when it's time to sell. And, you know, that's what it's all about. And so for us, it's about, you know, somebody who's so busy, and an agent that's just, you know, trying to juggle those buyers, the sellers, the you know, the training that you've got to do, that kind of thing. And it's just a busy life. And so for us, it's about supporting you by saying, hey, this is the marketing plan that you need to do each month. And each month we just come to you and say, like, right, here's our what we suggest for you for the month. And, you know, we've got different subscriptions depending on, you know, what your needs are and your budget, etc. And we just are there to remind you that you need to do your marketing, and you've made a commitment to that. So we provide all the content, we do printing, we provide the social media posts and everything like that, so that it's all done for you, and you can just go out there and do what you really love doing, which is meeting with those people and being on that journey with them. And so it's about undergirding you and supporting you to do what you do best.
And that's really important too. I mean, it's a bit like delegating to elevate, really. You know, you concentrate on what you know you're good at, and you bring in the experts to help you. Shelley, just while we're talking about it, you've got that #1 book, Real Estate Marketing Mistake. And, you know, for me reading it's simple science, but simple science put into reality is the reason we need you. So how do you take, you know, what method, and I mean, is this a secret? Are you allowed to kind of broadcast it? What is your secret to take someone like Kelly's income to 480K and beyond? What do you do? How do you do it?
Well, we encourage our clients. I mean, in the time that I've been working with agents, one of the things that I've noticed is, you know, I talked about, you know, the chasing the rabbits down the holes, and you know, I've noticed that some agents will only target like about 300 people in a, you know, in an area, or they'll have a really tiny database and they won't keep in touch with them. So it's about, actually, I'll talk about the database first, because I mean, that's the key, is to having people on your database, and everything that we do is all about funneling people into your database. So if you think about the real estate journey as a funnel, where you think of it like a funnel like this, and up the top here you've got people you've never met, and right down the bottom you've got the people who have become your vendors. So it's all about getting people into that funnel and then staying in touch with them. And so when they're in the middle of that funnel, those are people that you're staying in touch with every month by either a monthly newsletter, you know, your posts on Facebook. Once a year, you'd be wanting to knock on their door and say hello, or give them a phone call. And so, you know, it's all about building a relationship with those people. And so yeah, so you talked about the 480K formula. We talk to agents about, I've come across a lot of agents that only target like 100 people or 300 people, and that's not enough to make an income from. Because statistically, New Zealand wide, last year, 1 in every 23 houses sold. And, you know, that could be a little bit different in the area that you're in. But if you take 300 people, and if 1 in every 23 of those houses are selling, that's only around about 13 houses. If you get a 30% market share, which is great, you might be selling 3 or 4 of those. You know, is that enough to build an income, to build a business on? It's not. So what we talk to agents about is, so if we take a really, really rough, round, easy to calculate net commission of 10 grand, and if you want to make 3 to 4 listings a month, 48 a year, 48 at 10,000, 10,000 per listing sold, that's 480,000. So you want to target about 1,900 households, you know, whether that is by letterbox dropping or having them on your database, or a combination of the two. That's how many people you need to be a big fish in a small pond of 1,900 people. You need to make those people believe that you are the number one expert in their area, that you are the go-to friendly professional real estate agent, so that when it's time for them to sell, they automatically think of you.
And what I love about that is that I always talk to people about, brand visibility. You've got to get your personal brand out there and be front of mind with people. What you're really talking about, Shelley, is touch points. So if you're consistently bringing touch points across your neighbourhood, you're gonna bring that community to you. So, Carlos, if you're doing a letterbox drop to 1,900 houses, you've got to consistently do that. And consistently doing it means not just sell, sell, sell. Quite often I get real estate agents that put a flyer in of all their listing. What I love about what Shelley and her team do at Open Door Marketing is that they're putting education in letterboxes. So it's not just sell, sell, sell. You just did a newsletter last month, I think it was Shelley, or this month actually, and it had Monica Moore in it. And it was talking about, wellness, and you've got another one coming up, and it's talking about, the value of doing up your outdoors. And so with Shelley getting this information, Kelly, this is information that you yourself don't have the time to go and do, and yet she's doing it for you, and then you put the rest of it on. So it's what we do here at the Engine. We build credibility through information and education. And in your situation, it's information that's helpful. It's visibility of you being in the letterboxes. And, I've never been a fan myself of print media unless you're going to consistently be at it. So doing it as a once, so of course it's not going to work. Doing it as a repetition month after month after month, and following it up with what Shelley and her team do, and pushing it out into digital is really where you're going to get those 10 touch points really quickly. So I guess coming back to you, Callis, obviously when you're working with somebody, you put a lot of time and effort into that relationship, and then you complete the journey, they've bought their home. It's the 80-20 rule. How do you go about the conclusion? Are you getting testimonials from your clients? And what are you doing with them?
Yeah. I always after the house has been sold, then I always ask for a testimonial, and then that normally goes on a flyer, then it goes on Facebook, social media, and goes on Google reviews, or write my agent. So yeah, very, very important, those testimonials.
Absolutely. And the reason I'm raising it is distribution is key. So even as I say to people that I'm working with, yes, we're going to go and create a video, but we're not just going to create a video to put on your website. That video must be saturated. It must go out on your website. It must go out in the newsletters, in the flyers, on lead pages, on your social media. And then you've got to actually have a strategy and a plan that you implement where you're doing repeat marketing with it. Because if you're going to invest in it, you want to get a return of income on that. So, Callis, what is causing the auction rooms to go crazy right now? We've got people saying, they're queuing up to buy these houses, and they're going to the auction rooms, and it's just mad. Is that still relevant right now?
Yeah, it is still happening. In my opinion, there are mainly three elements. Number one is record low interest rates. Interest rates are still very low. Yes, they are going up, but still they are low. So money is cheap. And number two, low supply, high demand. So we still have a low stock of properties on the market and a very high number of buyers. So that's the mix, low supply, high demand, then prices will go up. And number three is shortage of houses. Auckland still has a very high shortage of houses. We need more houses in Auckland. So I think those are the three elements why prices are going up and going crazy at auction.
And look, I've been at auctions myself, and the recommendation I got many, many years ago from a trusted friend who was a real estate agent. He said to me, Catherine, don't ever go to an auction and bid yourself. He said, get someone else to do it. It's quite an emotional thing. You go with an expectation of, I know the bank says, I can go to this much, and it's getting closer and closer, and you can feel your heart beating and beating, and you just know that you're going to go the next to 10,000 more, but you can't afford it. So, Callis, what advice would you give to somebody who is going to an auction? Would you still go with getting someone to bid, or would you just say to people, be extremely disciplined?
Well, if you are good at going to auction and do it yourself, and you feel comfortable doing it and confident doing it, then do it. Most of the times people are not, because obviously it's such an emotional thing. So they can bring somebody else, and the other person can do the bidding for them. Some recommendations: watch your body language, because your body language says a lot. So when you're getting close, when people are getting close to their limit, they normally go to their husband or to the wife and they start talking. So obviously the other people can see that they are getting close to the limit. So just have the number on your head, just talk with your husband or wife and just decide that top number and have it in your head. So you don't have to turn to your husband and talk to the number, because then people will know. And the other thing is, when you're bidding, just bid strong and bid confident and bid loud. So people think that you have lots of money. You may not have lots of money. You may be very close to the limit, but just be very strong and very confident when you're bidding. So the other people think like, oh my goodness, they have lots of money. That's the other thing. And yeah, just try to be relaxed. And if you can't really do that, then ask somebody else to represent you.
Absolutely. And look, being loud and standing out is really what you have to do also as a real estate agent. So coming back to you, Shelley, when you're actually working with your client and they're doing the distribution, I can see so much benefit, not just in trying to look for their next client, but it might go into a letterbox with a mortgage broker, or a bank person who says, oh, I really like the sound or the look of this person, they're giving really credible. So it's also building connections, right?
Yeah, and getting referrals from those connections. So
Really key, really key.
yeah.
So obviously, Callis, you and I met through networking, and I love how you are very committed to turning up. Like, even if you're out in the car, you connect in through being in your car. And so why would you do networking? I mean, you've got Barfoot and Thompson, you've got a whole community of people within Barfoot and Thompson that you could be working with. But why do you go to networking?
Well, different reasons. One, I think it's very important to be connected with lawyers, mortgage brokers, accountants, so you know what is happening on the market. So when you're talking with a vendor, you can say, yeah, this is what is happening with the market. This is what interest rates are doing. This is the new banking rules. This is what is changing, and this is what is happening with. So you have the whole background of the situation, what's happening. So that's one of the reasons, is just keep up with all the changes in regulation, banking. So that's one. The other thing is because it's good to do networking, and it's not about the referrals will come, but don't do it just for the referrals. Do it because it's good for the community, it's good for everyone, it's building everyone's businesses, and the referrals will come later. I think when you do a good job, when you look after your clients, the clients will look after you. So that will be the end result. So I think there are many reasons why doing networking, and it's just great being around people and being able to help other businesses as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that's really sound advice, especially for other people who are watching this. Shelley, obviously you and I are working together, and so what brought you to bringing in a trusted business advisor in your business? Because, realistically, you've been doing this for 10 years, so most businesses will fall over in a short space of time. You've been doing this for 10 years. What is your main driver for bringing on a business advisor to help you in your business?
I guess it's just really to grow. And, I mean, that's what we do for our clients, is that we come alongside them and we help them on their journey. And, I have a lot of clients that will come to me and they'll say, oh, it's going really terribly right now, and I'm thinking of changing to a different brand or a different location, and I'll kind of be their trusted confidant, and and they'll say, I can tell you this, but I can't tell anybody else, and so I guess having a business advisor is a similar kind of step for me. As it being a business owner and probably being a real estate agent as well, can be lonely at times. And so it's really important to have somebody who can walk alongside you in that journey, and that you can give them a call and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think? And drawing on the advice of someone who's been there, done that, and can give you some really good direction, and also to see things from a different perspective as well. So I know you've done that with me recently, Catherine. I had a particular, I knew I wanted to do social media for my clients, but I couldn't quite work out how to do it. And you said, well, you've been doing this amazing newsletter for 10 years that everybody loves. I've got, clients that have people that rock up to them in the supermarket and say, hey, you're the guy that does that newsletter. And, I've got another client that, she lives in a small seaside suburb, and she's got a lady that drives into town every month and says, hey, have you done the newsletter yet? I want the new one. And so you had that idea, well, why don't you just split it up and put it on Facebook? And I was like, well, I don't know why I didn't see that previously. So it's really helped during COVID, because obviously we've lost all our printing business, which has been quite difficult to use that advice to pivot and to move into social media in a bigger way than what we've previously done. So thank you.
No, I really appreciate it. And look, it's what I say to people, you only know what you know, and when you actually do broaden that knowledge, and with Callus, you're doing that through networking and building, obviously, more connection. Shelley, the same thing. And also just working on your own personal development. It's not just necessarily about the business, it's your personal development. And Callus, you just said you're coming to get information, not necessarily referrals. Your referrals will come, as you said, but you're coming to get information and you're growing. And Shelley, that's exactly what you're doing as well. And obviously you ladies connected through me, so that's another connection that you've made, and hopefully we can see that flourish. I guess really for me, I just want to keep coming back. Shelley, and Callus, you'll have a lot of people who are watching this that know you, and I want them to see, where you guys are going on your journey and the credibility that of each of you, and what you're doing to grow in that personal development space, because a lot of the time, we get so caught up doing the same thing over and over, and that's what our clients see as well. So it's really good to do that whole personal development. Shelley, in terms of obviously your business, Open Door Marketing, and relaunching that, which was the original name, and you've gone through this whole branding change of Open Door to Downright Brilliant, and then back to Open Door Marketing. It's absolutely refreshing to see that you've gone that whole 360. But where to from here for you? What's your big, hairy, audacious goals that you're hoping to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months? And bearing in mind we're in a very difficult market right now for COVID.
Well, I really just want to. I think over the last 4 years I've done no advertising at all, and it's only been by referrals that businesses continue to grow. And you've said to me, Catherine, you can't remain a secret. So I guess it's about taking that really solid foundation that we have got. We've got clients that have been with us for 3, 5, 7, 10 years doing the same thing again and again, and just having wonderful success from that. So it's about going out there and growing and increasing those referrals, and doing the advertising as well that we're doing on behalf of our clients, and we haven't been great at doing it ourselves, but the builder never builds his own house or never finishes building his own house. So it's really for us is to go out there, and my goal is to be the go-to, the number one go-to real estate partner, marketing partner in New Zealand.
And it's exciting, without revealing all things. There's some exciting stuff in the tank that Shelley's working on behind the scenes, and I look forward to seeing that come to fruition. Just the extra things that you're doing to add value to what you're already offering your clients. And Callus, what about you? What's the big, hairy, audacious goal that you've got for the next 6 to 12 months in real estate?
as Shelley said, I think it's about going out to the market and always growing. So I am doing a lot of social media. I also, I'm doing some work with a company, Campaign Track, and they are doing all the social media and mainly Facebook and Instagram, and also doing, well, we can't do flyers right now, but I do regular flyers every 2 weeks in my farm area. So I will restart that once we move to level 2. Also keeping in touch with your past clients and your pipeline. That's very, very important. Just call, if you don't have anything to say, just call them, just thinking about you, or just what's happening on the street, this property sold for this much, or just keeping them informed with what is happening, but always have a reason why you're calling them. And also keep door knocking. I can't do any door knocking at the moment because COVID restrictions, but once we go back to level 2, just door knocking, just keeping them informed, just here to let you know, number 5 was sold for this much. We had 7 bidders at the auction, and just keep people informed. And also the sponsoring, working with the community, sponsoring the clubs, the sport clubs, and just being involved with the community. That's very, very important. And consistency builds trust. So you gotta be consistent. You just have to be there all the time available.
Oh, look, absolutely. Consistency is the key message here, and just be credible as well. So, look, there'll be a lot of people that are watching this who are business owners, and it's always good to get, we've got 3 ladies on here today, let's wrap this up. Shelley, if you could give me a tip for a real estate agent who is watching this, why would they work with open door marketing?
So that they can be frequent and consistent with their marketing, because like as Alice just mentioned, it's all about that consistency and being out there all the time, always being in front of everyone. I just remembered an agent spent, I don't know how long, trying to track me down and figure out who he was looking for, the owner of a particular property that we happened to own. It was our first home 20 years ago. It's right for development, and he spent like an hour trying to get hold of me, and then I said, well, I'm not interested in selling, but my circumstances have changed. Perhaps I am interested in selling. I haven't got a clue what his name is to get in contact with him again, but it's about he should have put me on a database and kept in touch with me. And so the one tip for all agents is to build that database of people who know you, who like you, who trust you, and call you when it's time to sell. And that really is the key, is to building a database. And that is, I don't know how much more time I've got, but I've got a client that he did that for years and years and years, and then he said to me one day, Shelley, I'm just going to do an experiment. I'm going to stop advertising and he didn't advertise anything for 2 years, and he was still a top selling agent with Harford and Thompson. It was after 2 years that he said, right, my sales are starting to dip, but that was because he'd spent 17-18 years contacting people every month, and they just knew him. And but after a couple of years, they started forgetting his name. So you've just got to build that database, and that's really key.
Yeah, look, I keep coming back to the touch points and nurturing. When you nurture people, you always get remembered and be visible. Just while we're still with you, Shelley, what would be your top tip for someone who's a business owner right now for their business? What would be your top tip?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's real tough at the moment, especially with COVID. But it's all about turning up and never giving up.
And I love your enthusiasm, even when you're talking to me and you're in your gym gear, and I keep thinking I should be in my gym gear too. So, Callis, I'm just going to come to you now. What's your top tip for anyone out there watching this LinkedIn Live? Why would they come and work with you, to sell or buy a house?
I think there are three elements that are very, very important in real estate. Number one is making the process of selling and buying as simple as possible. Look, this is, for a lot of people, this is something that they don't do very often. A first home buyer or a person who hasn't sold in 10 years. So make it really simple and stress-free. Number two is guiding them and informing them on every step of the journey so they know what is happening. For instance, for my vendors, I try to talk to my vendors every day just to keep them informed, you know, what's happening, number of inquiries received. And I also meet with them weekly to give them a comprehensive report, all the buyers who have been to the property, feedback from them, give them the good news and the bad news as well, give them the price feedback from each of the buyers so they know they are fully informed. And I think number 3, we have to deliver results. So we have to work really hard and deliver the best, get the best outcome and just deliver results. I think those are the 3 very important things to do in real estate. And that's basically my commitments.
Wonderful. And look, for those people that are watching LinkedIn Live, being visible is why we're here today, to talk about Shelley and Callis and get what they do out there. So I'm sure you've enjoyed the wonderful pearls of wisdom that the ladies have provided today. What would be really good is if you could share this video out to your connections on LinkedIn. You know, the wider the reach, the more visibility, and we'd love to help Callis and Shelley do that. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here, and you know, I feel very humble to be in your presence and to know each one of you on a personal level, and look forward to seeing, you know, the progress over the next 6 to 12 months for you and your businesses, and just thanks for turning up today. It's been really great.
Thank you, Catherine, for having me, and thank you, Shelley.
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine, and thank you, Callis, and I look forward to continuing to work with you both.
Yeah. No worries, and I look forward to going to the zoo with you one day, Shelley, and Kelly and her leopard pants. But
yeah, when
hey,
we're let out.
No, let me out. So, hey, ladies, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, thank you, and thank you to everyone watching the show. Goodbye.
Okay, see ya. Bye.